Hi guys, welcome back to Caffeinated Dragonware. I'm Stanley, and in today's episode, I am not going to be working on the map you see before you. I was kind of dissatisfied with how it looked. I don't know, something about it just seemed funky and off and too complicated for the game idea I had in mind. So instead, I switched gears, and today I'm going to be showing you how I created this map. Mostly. I'm basically going to skim over the stuff that is basically just copying and pasting advice from ARTIFEXIAN'S video series on climate and that sort of stuff, and focus instead on how I came to create the landmass and then basically how we got here. Anyways, so it's going to be a bit chaotic, a bit of jumping around, but I hope you'll stick with me. It's going to be a very short video, but well worth your time. With that being said, if you like what you see here and want to see more, please subscribe because we post new content every other Saturday, and we alternate between me working on this project and my wife Lisa working on our own mobile game, Exit Stage Left. Anyways, let's get started. Hi guys, Stanley Orr here, and I just wanted to show you some more progress on that fantasy game idea, like a side project I was trying to work on while Lisa works on our main game. But you already saw the first episode of my process, so I'm just going to skip entirely over that. If you want to know how I get to where I'm at, just links in the description for the previous episode. Otherwise, I'm just going to dive right in, get to where we were last time, and then explain myself as I go along. Right, so this part's pretty self-explanatory. All I'm doing is just recreating the continental plates in more interesting patterns than what I had last time, but also keeping it much more simple than last time, and then going back in and doing a brief motion thing where I figure out how the plates are going to collide and stuff and sort all that out. It's everything I covered in the last video, only more simplified. Okay, so now I went ahead and we're caught up basically. I have the plate types and the boundaries and everything. I feel like this is going to be a much more pleasing shape, much more simple to work with because the game idea I have in my head has evolved over time a little bit, and I realized the way I want to do it, I don't need that complicated of a planet. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is using this information as to where plates are colliding and separating and all that, I'm going to start out by using my cloud tool and going in where I think the mountains would be. So I have this land levels tab, land levels 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Same with ocean levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm going to use this to add white or black to this setup here. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm eventually going to posterize it and then turn that into an elevation map where the darker a color is, the lower it is, the whiter a color is, the higher it is. And then this creates a sort of height map that I can use for further reference further down the road. So as you can see here, what I'm basically doing is adding in white in different layers that are all transparent so that the opacity of it stacks up eventually, so that where you see several layers that have the same points of intersection, you'll get a bigger buildup of white color until eventually you have the heights of mountains and the depths of the sea, and the cloud brush that I'm using helps make it real organic and rocky looking, and it really gives it a nice effect. Looks nice. Okay, so here is my final elevation map. So basically, very simple map, and I went ahead and changed the posterization level from 20 down to 10. Or maybe I could go for 12. Maybe I want a little more detail, but not too much. See, that looks good too. Yeah, so I think I'll keep it at 12 actually. So next I'm going to decide how much of this is water, how much of it is land. So obviously this and this and this is water. Let's add in ocean. Boom. How's this look for... Oh, that's a really good map. I kind of like how it looks. I'm not going to lie, I really dig that. So let's hide that real quick and let's see how it looks with less water. Let's see how it looks if this was all the water. Not as much of a fan. No. I definitely like the other one better. Okay, so moving on next, we're going to be working on the climate and topography and all that. And quite frankly, it's going to be a little rough for me to do this without just flat out copying the video advice that I got from ARTIFEXIAN. So full credit to him, and you should really check out his video first if you want a detailed overview of how I come to the decisions I come to. With that being said though, let's begin. So right here, basically I'm using the wind to determine where ocean currents are blown, and Ocean water that travels away from the equator tends to be warmer than ocean water traveling towards the equator, obviously because it takes the temperature from the area it came from, and obviously the further north or south you are, the colder it is. And then for the types of environments that you see scattered around the globe, I'm just using the same classification system that ARTIFEXIAN used in his videos. Dark blue is rainforests, bright red is deserts, you got orange, which is the steppes, and you have yellow represents Mediterranean-ish zones, and then light blue represents like an intercontinental. He breaks it all down very precisely for you to understand where each of this goes and how it is affected by like rain shadows and moisture and all that jazz. And there we go. The weather system, the climate, it's all done now. The only thing left for me to do was add in some rivers and then some political boundaries for different countries and stuff, which I thought would be pretty fun. Anyways, so how I did that was I added the main rivers and ignored everywhere where deserts would be. I figured most deserts would probably have no major river systems considering the lack of moisture, maybe one running through them, one or two. At first I just did all the rivers I could think of. I was going crazy with the tributaries and stuff, and then I realized that I didn't need that level of detail for the sort of game I would be making. So instead I opted for a much more simple thing, and the end result is this map you see before you. Then the only thing left for me to do was add in some political boundaries, which was a piece of cake, you know, just generally keeping the climate in the same, using mountains and rivers for some main borders and stuff, and yeah, that was pretty much it. Hope you guys liked the video. This is the end result of a few hours of work, but I am really happy with how it turned out and much more satisfied with this map as opposed to the other one. Much more simple design, better suited to the type of game I'm going to be doing. Speaking of which, we'll talk more about that in the next video, so stay tuned for that. If you're looking forward to it, I'll probably post it 4 weeks from now because we post every other Saturday, and next week it's Lisa's turn. She's working on Exit Stage Left, I'm doing the art assets for the game, and she's doing the coding. Anyways, go ahead and subscribe if you enjoy this sort of stuff, and I will see you later.